on like, hey, like all these things that we have here are so rare, and in turn, which I hope won't be the case, but I think a consequence could be like whenever we don't value what we have, there's a higher probability of us actually losing those things because we're not willing to fight for it because we don't understand the value of it and just different things like that. And so I think it'll be interesting. But then relating to that, how do you think discipline? Well, I guess two parts here. One, like how did UFC and everything like that come along? Because like whenever we met at UNT, you were just dunking on dudes at the gym. You weren't fighting or anything like that. But that came along towards like the end of your time there. Mm-hmm. And then from there, in turn, how do you think the discipline and the toughness that God developed in you at a young age has played in your development and fighting at like the start of whenever you started in it?
Gotcha. So, I started in 2015. I believe February 12th. That's when I started in MMA. Mm-hmm. So I just love this sport, but I never actually did it. So my mom was like telling me, like, you might as well. She told me, what was that sport you were talking about you always wanted to do? And I'm like, I was UFC. And it's MMA. She's like, why don't you just do it? I'm like, yeah, my dad, because we were living with my dad then. He's like, he told me not to do it. He's like, just go do it. Just go do it. Because you don't want to grow up and get older and then regret not doing it. Yeah. So I was like, yo, you're right. So I kept sneaking out of the house, doing it, training. And I was telling my dad, work was hard. Every time I come back, like, man, work was tough today. I was working, but he never knew I was doing MMA. But I kept doing it. And the first day I did it, man, it was horrible, man. Mm-hmm. I did hold my own, though. It was jiu-jitsu. Okay. So if the viewers, if anyone doesn't know what jiu-jitsu is, it's a form of grappling where like you're wrestling and you're kind of, it involves submissions where like you're using people's weight against them, and you're also using people's limbs against them, where like you could snap a limb if the time's not taken. But it's not as crazy as it seems. But
sounds a little crazy.
It's not, I know it's like it involves a lot of chokes and like blood chokes and like air chokes, and like it's crazy. But it's good as a form of self-defense for the ladies out there, because it's very crucial. But we're doing that, and I was getting tapped out, rolled over, tossed around like people half my size. But it was good. You know, every time I get beaten something, I just feel crave it more. So I kept coming, kept learning, kept training, kept developing at that skill level. Yeah. And I attend the kickboxing classes, and I kept leveling up, you know, getting better. Then going to the wrestling classes, and strength and conditioning. And I just love the sport. So fast forward to November, that's 2015. I had my amateur fight, first amateur fight. I can't remember, November 18th, I believe so. It was a black tie brawl event, so like it was for charity. So I'm in there, you know, fighting this tough Mexican. Sorry for saying that, but hey, it was tough. You know, Mexicans are tough, you know. Big, short, big, stocky, big Mexican. I'm like there, like staring them down. They're calling our names, announcing our names, and I have this bad habit when I first started to like so like when my coach gives out a code or a technique, I stare at my coach just to listen, which you can't do that in combat sport. The split second you stare and look away could get hit. Done, yeah. So he yelled out, I can't remember what he said. He said a 1-2 with a stepping knee. So that's like a jab across and a stepping knee. He was telling me that. So he said that, and I'm like, I looked at him for a split second. That split second I looked at him, man, that kid threw a heavy overhand and dropped me. I bounced off my butt and I stood back up like, oh my God. The kid so swarmed me. It was throwing all types of combinations. I'm just circling around. I thought I was back in Africa. I was like, I'm hunting for them chickens, that poultry farm. Like, bro. But the kid was swarming me. He threw everything in the kitchen sink. It was about to the third minute, 30 seconds into the first round, he wore himself out. And I would just pick him apart. And fight ended like 5 seconds before the round ended. And it was crazy, but it was a crazy experience. But I started in 2015, and as far as the discipline that Christ to give me, and so crazy story, man. Because my life been a roller coaster, like just like everyone else. But when I came to America, 2010, I believe so, 2010, land of the free. I'm doing whatever I want because I'm like, no one here to force me to go to church. No one here to tell me, oh, time to pray. No one here. So like, I tend to gradually start drifting away from Christ. So doing my own thing, playing basketball, skipping Bible study, just keep playing. And I wasn't going to church for almost like a year and a half. I was going like once every like 4 months. And I didn't go to Bible study again. And the Lord was gradually just waiting because His time is always perfect. So everything I wanted to do after that, like as far as like football and stuff like that, soccer professionally, like it wasn't working out. And I just knew back then I never knew that was the Lord telling me like He's not going to give it to me because He just knew He was protecting me from something even worse. But I didn't become like a believer till like a full believer till like 2016. Yeah, but my life was just going in and out. Every time I try to pursue something great, I just can't keep hold of it. I can't just get hold of that. So like I was experiencing saw a lot of setbacks, and I was just getting depressed. Like, why can't I do this? Why can't I get this? Why can't I just be great? I know I have it in me. Why I just can't get hold of it? But the Lord has a way of just putting a halt to everything you do, just to remind you. So like He's the author and creator. He knows the beginning and the end of your life before you even start. So He was just trying to tell me like, okay, calm down. This is what I want you to do. If I let you go this way, if you get this wealth so fast, you won't know how to handle it. If you get here this fast, you won't know what to do. And I might end up destroying my own self because I don't have Him as a foundation then. So like that's the one thing, I didn't have people looking over me like in Africa where people are forcing, okay, do this, and other things. Like you just can't force someone to follow Christ. You got to be willing to follow Him yourself. Yeah. So when I then became a believer, 2015 I started MMA. I wasn't a believer even when I fought my amateur fight. Then 2016 I was getting to know the Lord, getting that relationship with Him. So it was not as strong as it is now. So when it became more stronger was my UFC debut. No. I believe my contender. So there's an event called the Dana White Contender Series. Okay. If you fight for that event, who Dana White is the CEO, the owner of the UFC. If you fight for that event, if it's an impressive finish or impressive fight, they sign you. As far as you win, they sign you. So I had a fight, and I just couldn't quite perform. I performed so well in the training room, but when it comes to the actual event, I can't perform. Like I'm throwing jabs, slow jabs, man. But in the training room, I'm just fluid in my flow state, but I just can't transition those skills to the main show, the main stage. So I just couldn't transition, and I'm wondering why. But I mean, I did have a good finish in the Contender Series, so I'm living in my own hype. Like I got this. So I'm like, yeah, this is. I started to gradually think like, it's me. It's all me,
Yeah.
UFC debut, they matched me up with the worst guy they could ever match me up. He was more like a jiu-jitsu guy.
Okay.
His name was Paul Craig from Scotland. So it was setting me up for the win. So, and I'm like, I'm going to smash this kid. I'm going to destroy him.
I'm the man. Yeah.
I'm the man, I don't need the Lord. I don't have to go to Bible study. So, man, I got to the fight, man. I was beating the kid up. Then it was crazy. 30 seconds before the last round. If I would have finished that fight, I would have won the fight and got the victory. This kid grabs me up in a triangle choke. And I never get caught in that, even in practice. Triangle choke is where like I'm in the person's guard, he's on the ground, he's on his back, his legs wide open, I'm right in his guard. So he would take his leg, wrap one leg over here. He could wrap it over this shoulder or this shoulder, but one leg has to go underneath my armpit. One has to go over my shoulder. Then he figure fours it and behind my back. Then it gets so tight where if he starts cranking on your neck, pulling in, like it's cutting off your circulation, your blood circulation. Like if he holds it for about 8 seconds more than he has to, you'll be out conscious. He wraps me up in that thing. Yanking my arm. I was trying to rip my arm off. He's cranking me in there. I'm like, man, I'm getting like lightheaded. I'm seeing like dark. Everything's getting dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. And I had to tap. He won the fight. He won a bonus 50 G's for submitting me. And I'm like going there with half the paycheck, bro. Dang. I'm disappointed. Like, dang. I'm in the back. I was like, I don't want to do this no more, man. But that's the Lord saving me, letting me know that He's he's the reason I was there in the first place. Like, I mean, me being disobedient from thinking it's I'm living. He could have gotten me knocked out. Lord could have made me get knocked out or submitted, unconscious, or even killed. I get killed. But he was just so kind enough to just let me get submitted and let me learn from my mistakes. And that's where I think some people don't realize that some setbacks is not because it's not a bad thing, but the thing the Lord's using to protect them from themselves. So I didn't realize like that. This is a reality check from the Lord. Man, I then increased my relationship, just immersed my whole self, submitted everything to him. Usually I had 1 feet in, 1 feet out, and I just had 2 feet in. Then like, you know what, Lord, do whatever you want, whatever you please. Yeah. Win or lose, I'm gonna always praise your name and give you all the glory. Yeah. Second fight was awesome. I got the victory. I got the victory. Second fight in the UFC, which was against a guy from Serbia, Darko Stosic. Okay. So it was in New Jersey. I got the victory. It wasn't how I planned on it. I planned on finishing the guy, but I didn't quite finish him. But I still got the victory. It was a unanimous decision. So after that fight, you know, I was like, man, it's crazy, man. I had a little hesitation on going to a couple Bible studies after that. I wasn't really serving the Lord. I just got a little setback, a little lackadaisical, but man, the Lord tore my ACL because I know I had to be in Bible study. I went to soccer, indoor soccer. I was like, I'm gonna just go play indoor soccer. Snapped my ACL, man. I heard a pop. I'm like, okay, that's not normal. I was on the ground, knee got inflamed. Then I was like, I should have been in Bible study. Like, why?
And when was that?
This was 2019, October 2019. Okay. Yeah. October 2019. No, September 2019. So right after my fight in August with the guy Darko. So I'm like, dang, I should have gone to Bible study. I just had that little conversation with the Lord, like, dang, I should have gone. It could have been worse. It could have been a career-ending injury. But the Lord was like, okay, I'm just give you this setback for you to realize what you've done. It's like, go to your room and think about it. You know, so that's the Lord talking to me, and like, had surgery November 19th, 2019, a couple months later. Was just struggling, just like, dang, Lord, why did I do this? Why did I do this? So I was like, instead of worrying about the why, I just got to fix what I messed up. Man, turning everything. My relationship with Christ became more stronger. And pandemic hit. My rehab facility, UT Southwestern closed down. I couldn't straighten my knee because they had all the equipments, the PTs, even my chiropractor shut down, so I couldn't really strengthen my knee. So I could do what I could on my own, but I could only do so much because I'm not like a physical therapist. Yep. So, you know, the pandemic started to like towards the end of the year, 2020, about like June, July, everything. UT Southwestern opened back up. I attended all my physical therapy three times a week, and started to strengthen my knee. I was supposed to have a fight, I believe 2020, around August. But I wasn't quite ready. But I was like, Lord, I want to fight. And it was like, the doctor was telling me like this knee was 80%. It wasn't even 100%. Like he told me that I don't think it's a wise decision to be taking this fight. And that fight was going to be a big fight in Abu Dhabi. So like, I want to take it. But the Lord happened to make me, man, God is good, bro. That's all I can say, man. God knows what he's doing, man. Like, the stuff he does is just beyond our comprehension, where it blows my mind every time. So that fight got canceled. So I couldn't fight. So like, then I spent that time knowing that was a sign from the Lord. Spent that time keep rehabbing my knee. So fast forward back into March 6th, I had a fight against one of the biggest kickboxers. He's a big up-and-coming kid, you know. He trains with one of the champions in the UFC. So he's a light heavyweight in my weight class. So they matched me up with him, you know. And I'm like thinking like, Lord, dang, this knee, I've been out for like a year and a half. How's it going to hold up? Yeah. Like, I mean, the training room is different than in the main stage. So how's it going to hold up? So the whole time I was thinking about it, thinking about it. Even when we flew out to Vegas for the fight, I was thinking about it the whole time, but still praying with my pastor over the phone when I got to Vegas. Keep reading my Bible, keep feeding myself the right words of the Lord. And, reached the fight. The knee held up. First round was hectic, man. Kid was throwing everything, everything. I thought I was getting thrown by spears. I'm throwing spears like, Hakuna Matata. It's going to be all right. Well, Kid was throwing everything, man. Kid ended up gassing out second round. I got the finish. I went to the shower over there, and I was just sitting there in this facility. Man, God, He did it again. He did it again. That was the one of the deal breakers there. Like the Lord, like you always had my back. You always will. You never have disappointed me. You never will disappoint me. Everything that in the past was to set me back was to protect me from myself and my own selfishness. And I was like, Lord, I'm with you, man. Like you've been a ride or die with me. Like it'd be stupid for me to see what you've done and not to commit everything to you.
Yeah.
2 months later, I have another fight, June 26th, right after my birthday, June 13th. So I'm like, got this fight. What's so crazy, I felt sick when they flew us to Vegas on Tuesday, fights on Saturday. I felt sick on Tuesday. I was feeling kind of nauseous. Then I felt I had like a congestion. Like, it's nothing. It's just maybe a jet lag. You know?
Yeah.
Wednesday's getting worse. Fever's kicking in. My coach doesn't fly until Thursday. Yeah, he doesn't fly until Thursday because there's several of my teammates that are fighting on other cards, so he had to make sure he's in Dallas, making sure they're getting ready.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dang. I'm with my other teammate, Zumor. I'm like, what's wrong? Like, Zumar's like, you okay? I'm like, man, I don't know, man. Like, I'm feeling kind of weird right now. So, like, I was supposed to be doing my warm-ups and my light sparring with Zumor and my wrestling in this, workout room at the hotel, but I couldn't do it. My coach was like, you good? Are you good? You ready, man? You ready? I'm like, Coach, man, I'm feeling sick right now. He's like, don't worry about it. It's just probably you overtrained, so your body's just trying to recuperate. I'm like, I don't know about that, Coach. Like, I know if I overtrained. And it was just different. The feeling was different. So, man, I'm thinking it's COVID. I don't know what the heck the thing was, man. But every time the results, they test us every day in the morning. So every time the results, it comes back so quick, like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It comes back and it comes back negative. I'm like, okay, I guess it's not COVID. So I'm like, okay, it's not COVID. But I'm getting sicker, tired, more congested. I couldn't even move, man. Well, the worst part was in weight cut. Weight cuts on Thursday night. I'm cutting weight. I'm getting in the sauna, cutting remaining water weight to make weight. Every time I stand up, I get lightheaded. I'm like, okay, I gotta sit down. Got worse then. Friday, we weigh in on Friday morning, 8 o'clock. After we weigh in, you meet the commission, meet the doctors, sign the contract forms. You weigh in, pose with the guy. The media, ESPN gets everything on camera. Then you're allowed to rehydrate. Then we go rehydrate. I'm drinking the fluids, all the adequate fluids to help me to retain the water weight as I'm taking it. So I know I'm getting my weight back, feeling good a little bit. Then I'll go to bed, go to sleep. We have to warm up at that night. It's Friday night. I just can't, man. It's just I'm getting exhausted. Saturday morning, leading up to the fight, where they get us out there to the UFC Apex is the name of the facility. It was just for the fighters, and I can't warm up, man. I'm exhausted. I can't warm up. I'm exhausted. Every 2 minutes I'm warming up, I'm tired. Get into the fight, bro. I'm like thinking the whole time. They're announcing my name, Kennedy from Dallas, Texas. I'm like, oh crap, here we go again. I'm moving, plotting back and forth, how am I gonna win this fight? So fight starts, the guy grabs my leg, single leg dump me. I'm trying to get back up on my feet. He wraps his legs around me, grabs my back. I'm on my feet, the guy's on my back like a backpack, trying to strangle me, get a rear naked choke. I'm like, oh my God, I'm just trying to defend. Like, I don't have enough energy. My gas tank's on E right now. So I'm just holding there. Fast forward to the third round after I survived all the onslaught he did. The 20 seconds of the third round, my coach was like, in between the rounds, as they're about to start the third round, coach was like, Kennedy, just go. It's all you have right now, man. I just go. Boom. 20 seconds, fight's over. I win the fight. I'm like, I kneel down, man. I kneeled on my knees. I was praying. The doctor was like, you okay? He's trying to stand me up. I'm like, relax. Let me pray, brother. I want to talk to my creator right now. I'm thanking the Lord, man. Thank you, Father. Thank you, King, for what you've done for me, because I know I had no energy. But how he gave me that energy, I have no clue. People keep saying like, oh, so you wanted it that bad. I do want it bad, but I was like, I didn't want to fight. Like that's how tired I was. But the Lord gave me that strength. Once you recognize what the Lord has done for you, it's just an appreciation for more. So it's, the appreciation you show to Him is an application for more blessings. So I thank the Lord. Went back to the hotel. I didn't even eat, bro. I went to bed. Just fell. I didn't even shower. I just fell on my. Had like blood stains on my shirt. Like, I just fell on the bed, man. Out. But my journey, man, and even the stories in the UFC is just mind blowing for what the Lord has done for me, and the grace He's poured upon me, man. I should cherish that for the rest of my life, and I'm just trying to get more blessings, testifying to people, and in my church, trying to get ready to become an evangelist soon. Just preaching to the church, and I'm just grooming. The Lord's been grooming me, to use my story and my platform to spread His word. So, that's the biggest privilege I could ever have. So, I thank God for it.
There's like a lot of us growing up, watching Dragon Ball Z and Cobra Kai and Karate Kid and all these different things, but you're actually doing that, which is not normal. Because a lot of us, people always talk about wanting to fight, but you're actually a fighter, so that's a little bit different.